This is WGRG 100.5 FM, where we meet the absolute minimum FCC broadcasting standards. It's time to hang on and brace yourself for a community radio program that's frankly indescribable. Let's talk Geneseo. Two guys with nothing better to do on a Friday morning but to talk about our community. Geneseo City Administrator Brandon Meglin and City Alderman Keith Kennett. And yeah, nobody, and I mean nobody, puts the blah in blah 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 like these guys do.
And good morning. You're listening to WGRG 100.5 FM in Geneseo for this edition of Let's Talk Geneseo on this Friday morning, November, trying to squint at the calendar. Help me out here, Brandon.
21st.
You know, we've been doing this like for 70 programs or whatever. You think I would just write down the date?
We're pretty predictable,
before the start, but we are just creatures of habit here.
Yeah.
Good and bad, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, nice morning out there.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad.
You're putting away the camera equipment for the football season.
We're putting, well, correct, although it kind of moves over to the gym for basketball.
There's no break.
There is not much of one. That is
Yeah.
correct. But it's nice when there isn't a break because that means that the team went a little bit deeper and stuff. But
Yeah.
great season. Always tough to have the to take the loss whenever it might come, but it still doesn't take away from a lot of excitement, a lot of energy about it. Team should be holding their head high. Played tough.
I shifted from watching the game on the TV50 broadcast to attending my first game last Saturday, so that was fun.
So you attended your first game last Saturday?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for breaking the... So you were the jinx. You don't
Somebody
break
else said
tradition.
that.
Come on. Thanks, Brandon.
There was a great community tailgate that was put on out at the Maple Leaf Edition out there, too. That was a lot of fun before the game.
Yeah, I heard about that. So
Yeah.
well attended and stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
Cool.
Appreciate everybody that put that on. Yeah. This week, you might have noticed, too, the Geneseo was named one of the 10 most underrated small towns in the state of Illinois. Did you see that come out?
I did notice that, and
Yeah.
well-deserved recognition. I think there were a couple other familiar names on there, but none quite as nice as us, I think. Might
Yeah.
be a little prejudiced, but that's okay.
Yeah, we might shoot them an email of some photos they can use. Looks like they used an old Google Street View image or something for the article.
Yeah.
And,
It's probably AI generated, but who knows? We'll take it
Yeah.
however it came.
yeah, we'll take it.
Right. Well, we have a full program this morning, and
Yes.
we'll turn it right over to you, Brandon.
Yes, welcome Amber Berthoud and Jenny Johnson to talk about a upcoming toy drive. Many people know Amber from the Geneseo Police Department, school resource officer up here at the high school.
Good morning.
Morning. And Jenny, you are at the Geneseo Middle School as a teacher.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, thanks for being here. We wanted to spend just a few minutes to talk about what's going on with this toy drive. It's an important way to give back coming up, and then we're going to transition to some other guests that are in our green room area of the studio to talk about the Richmond Hill Players. So why don't we start with the toy drive? When is it, and who does it support?
This is our 6th year doing the toy drive here in correlation with the police department. So it starts on December 1st and it goes through the 13th. The middle school will be a collection zone during the school week from 3:30 to 7:30. There'll be a bucket out by the west doors that people can put gifts for ages 0 to 18. Don't forget about those teens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the other locations we have in collaboration with the school. So we'll collect at the police department, and Woodridge has offered to open up their facility to drop off gifts, and Reap and Sow Nutrition as well. Great places in town that, you can stop by and, say hello. You can even grab something from Reap and Sow and then drop off a gift for the students. We have a lot of students in need this year. And again, it's a great opportunity because we have an amazing community that really gives back. So this is, like she said, this is 6 years running, and this year we're needing it a little bit more than normal because of all the students that are in need.
Mm-hmm. So what's the process after you guys collected all these sites? How do you sort through everything, and then how are they distributed?
So we collect through the Christmas walk on the 13th. So after that, on Sunday, we'll take all of the gifts and toys and stuff to the middle school, which will be sorted out by their students, the sixth grade senate, and then some staff members. And then
from there, the school social workers and counselors, they have lists of families that they have contacted or families in need, so they will go through and kind of shop for those students. There's a few other organizations that sometimes come in and grab for other families that they know are in need, and then everything else is donated to the food pantry here in town.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here.
thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Inform us.
Yeah,
Is there
thank you.
anything else you want to share on it, or?
Not that I can think
I
of.
think we covered it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we did cover everything. I mean, if everybody could just, if you've got a little extra. And again, it's new and unwrapped gifts. So we've had a few donations before of used items. They are accepted, but we do prefer stuff that hasn't been used before for the students.
Good to give a Christmas gift that's in the package. Probably,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Everybody
I mean, we can
deserves it.
repackage if we need to. I'm sure we
Yeah.
have resources for that. But
Yeah.
no, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Thank you.
ladies,
Thanks for having us.
being here this
Thanks.
morning. Yeah.
Thank you.
We we don't have commercials, so we can't take a commercial break for the transition. So it's
No,
just
so you can enjoy the transition on air, anybody watching. But right now, we're
Yeah.
just moving some guests
Yeah,
around
thanks,
here
guys.
in the studio. Thank you.
Thank you.
feel free to stick around if you want to. You know? I mean,
Students
all right, you got to go to work or something. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All the high fives I get.
Yeah.
That's a hard no, Brandon. On the stick, on the stick around. Although I guess we have had in the past. Some have.
Yeah.
Some have stuck around.
Yeah. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Well, welcome, Jonathan Graft and Katie Orwig, here to talk about the Richmond Hill Players Organization here in Geneseo.
Thank you.
Jonathan, first-time guest.
Yes.
Katie, one of our top 5 most popular guests.
Oh,
Wow.
I didn't know I was going to get that rating. Wow.
Is that also AI generated? Just checking. No, top 5.
That's what AI told us, at least. I don't know if it's true.
As far as
but-
what we
know.
go with these days, what does AI know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys have some things coming up with the players, and we're about to wrap up one show that's currently going on. But why don't we start with Jonathan? If you can give us your background on. I know you've been involved with the players for a long time. When we were speaking before the show, how you got involved and what kind of led you to what you do as president of the organization.
Thank you. So I have been involved since 2007. I had been to a few shows before that. My wife and I moved back from Chicago a few years before that and had been around the theater. I was telling you as we were walking down the hall, I kind of had a life is too short moment and decided to audition in 2007. A little bit of a funny story. So Joe DePau, who taught theater here and continues to, was directing a show. I came in and auditioned. I read for every part under the sun. I had no idea how it went. I went home and I got a phone call from my boss saying, "You're going to start traveling for work." And I was like, "All right, I can't do the show." And so I called back and said, "I need to withdraw my name, but I'm wondering if I would have been cast in a show." And the director called me, Joe calls me, and he said, "Well, I was going to give you the lead." And I said, "Hold on just a second, I need to make a call." So I called my boss and worked it out. So I was able to participate, and I've done at least a show every other year. I've been involved in directing. This is my third term as president of the board, so I've multiple times involved in the kind of leadership. It's a completely volunteer organization, so it's a bunch of people who are very passionate about being involved in the theater. It takes a fair bit of time, but we're in the tail end of our 2025 season. We're in preparations for our 2026 season. We're having our annual meeting in January, and we start again in April. So we're very lucky in Geneseo to have a facility like the barn and an organization like Richmond Hill Players. So
Yeah. So tell us about the show. That I think there's one more performance left. Is that?
So it's the final weekend. We have 3 performances left tonight.
Close.
7:30, Saturday at 7:30, and Sunday at 3 o'clock. Tickets are going fast. It's been a very popular show. It's called A Sherlock Carol, and it's a lovely little fun little mashup of some fictional British characters, Sherlock Holmes and A Christmas Carol, and all of the characters involved in each, and how they kind of mix together and come to tell a nice little comedic holiday tale. It's been very popular, so it's a fun one. So 3 more performances. If get your tickets, they're going fast. Sunday will probably be sold out, which is a nice problem to have. But it's a great way to end what's been a fantastic season. So
And that's directed by Joe DePau as
it
well.
is directed by Joe DePau.
So
For
he
all of those
went
involved in
right
theater
from
here.
Charlotte's Web right into a Sherlock Carol.
Nice. So tell us about what do you guys have coming up? What's on tap for 2026 for shows?
Good question. So one of the things that we do as we are looking to build a season, so we have a play reading committee. There's a group of people dedicated to reading shows. Directors that are interested in directing for a season will submit several shows each. And that group will read them all, and they'll vote, and they come up with a season that we try to have a nice mix of comedies, of dramas, of thrillers, of mysteries, kind of across the board. So next year we have a fun slate. So in April we'll be doing a show called The Charitable Sisterhood of the Second Trinity Victory Church. And as the person who's in charge of changing the sign outside the theater, I'm trying to figure out how exactly that's going to fit in the sign. But it is shockingly a comedy with a name like that. So we've got that'll start our season. We have a dramatic comedy that Joe is directing. So the first one is directed by Mike Skiles, who's been involved in the theater for 30 plus years. The second one is a dramatic comedy called The Rainmaker that Joe DePau will be directing in June. And then we have another comedy called Heaven Help Me that Dana Skiles, so the Skiles family has, Dana's grandmother was one of the original founding members in 1968, and so they've been involved as a family for the entirety of the show. And actually, Dana's niece was on stage last year, so there's 4 generations that have been involved now at Richmond Hill over the years. So that'll be our July show. We then have Collected Stories, directed by Tom Morrow, who's been involved in Quad Cities Theater for a long, long time. And then final show of the year is, did I miss one?
I think
I did
we have
miss
the
one.
Picasso,
I did miss
yeah.
one. Here it is. Sorry. And the August show is Picasso on the Lapine Agile. I'm sure I mispronounced some word of that. That's actually a Steve Martin comedy. So the actor Steve Martin wrote a play in the 80s and 90s, or late 80s, early 90s. And it's another comedy where Einstein and Picasso meet up in a cafe, and there's a whole thing that goes with that. So a fun one in August. Then we have Collected Stories in October, and directed by Tom Morrow. And then I'm doing an old-fashioned family murder in November. So a year from now, I'll be directing kind of a farce comedy silliness. Because nothing says the holidays like a family murder.
Katie, which shows are you going to be participating in?
Well, it's fun that you should ask that, but I don't know that for a fact on any of those things, but auditions will be coming up. So we do auditions 2 times a year. We'll be doing a set in February, and Jonathan, if you've got
Yes,
those dates for February.
I don't, off the top of my head.
I
but-
think it's very close to the beginning of the month. You know what? I think it's over Valentine's.
It is.
We did talk about that. Sorry.
It is.
So Valentine's weekend we do auditions both the Saturday and the Sunday from 1 to 3, and then we'll have another set of that's for the first 3 shows of the year, and then we do another set of auditions. Those will be at that last weekend in May, also from 1 to 3 on that Saturday and Sunday, and those will be for the last 3 shows of the season. So we'll see if anybody wants to pick me for anything.
And everyone
I'm
is welcome
desperate.
to audition.
Yeah.
Please, love to have new faces. It's exciting.
What is that process like? Is it fairly competitive in the auditions, or are you needing people to participate in these programs, or?
It could be a little bit of both, right? So the greatest problem to have as a director is when you have a room full of people that are excited about your show and you have to narrow down and pick. The process is very simple. If you would like to audition, typically a director we put them all in separate rooms. We do 3 shows at each of those auditions. So we'll do the first 3 shows in the February auditions. We'll do the second 3 shows in the May auditions. We put the directors in separate rooms. You can choose to audition for 1 or more of them, and they'll have you just read parts out of the script. No preparation necessary, no memorizing necessary. Nothing needs to be done before you show up. And then sometimes directors will have more than enough people, and sometimes some phone calls need to get made, right? And try to find people to fill spots. So it's great when we see a lot of faces, and a lot of new faces is very exciting. So the process it's pretty straightforward to get involved. And again, if you're not I want to be on stage kind of person, we're always also looking for backstage help. If somebody who wants to move props, somebody who wants to help get organized with the costumes or the shops of any sort. We build sets. And then also we have concessions and box office and all the things that a theater needs to have. And as I said before, we're a completely volunteer organization. So the more volunteers, the better. It's always great.
So talk to us about, you guys have a scholarship fund that's out there, the John Van de Woestijn Scholarship. What's that all about?
So I believe we have 2 scholarships available every year. They are $500 a piece, and they go to a high school senior that has had some experience with Richmond Hill. So that can be from the concessions, backstage, all the way through acting. Usually we don't have any directors that are high school seniors, but I suppose if we did, they would be welcome to qualify for the scholarship. And so any way that they can help with our spring cleanup days. There's a lot of opportunity for volunteering and not being on stage. So it doesn't really have to be a theater, person that's happy to be on stage. They can have a lot of different roles to help us out and be a candidate for that scholarship. And then there's a good committee that chooses those. I believe those go available either at the end of January, beginning of February. And they are hosted outside of the regular scholarships that we have here at the high school. So usually that's a different process. So this one is done outside. It's not part of the big reveal night that the seniors get to attend. So, but then they do get their picture in our program for the upcoming season, and it's nice to have that. I like the one that was in there this year. Happened to be my son.
There you go.
So that was fun. But to have his picture in the program for the whole year. So that's a nice nod to those kids that are putting effort in and doing a little bit extra outside of everything else that they do.
Yeah, and is that for students that are continuing their education, or?
It can truly be for anybody who's going forward, right? So college, trade schools, whatever used, it doesn't have to be theater involved. My son went on to be a teacher. He was also a winner a few years ago. It doesn't have to be somebody who was on stage. We happen to have some shows occasionally that need high school age students, but that's not something we typically have to have. So as Katie said, volunteering is a great way to be involved, and it's kind of easy money. There's not that many to date. We haven't had a lot of people recently that have been involved and submitted, so we'd love to have more kids involved. It's always great to get them in. It is truly a lifetime activity. We've got people who've been involved for many, many, many years, and it's a great outlet. So,
What's the process from start to finish? I guess from the original idea, let's do this show, to again auditions and preparing for it and advertising and practicing. Is that a 2-week, 2-month, 2-year window? What's the behind the scenes type thing?
Great question. So we we have selected our 2026 season, and that selections process started in February with an email out to potential directors who then submitted shows. We had this committee that I was discussing who read through, proposed a season, and put that in front of the board in July. So we have essentially picked the 2026 season 6+ months in advance. So as a director, you kind of have to be thinking, what am I going to do in a year and a half, right? Or potentially more. Once that season is set up, we actually have all the way from the art of all of the different logos has to get done, all of the advertising. Jennifer Kingery, who's involved in our organization, puts together all the advertising, starts to work out what that's going to look like, what the season card is going to look like. All of that starts early. From a show perspective, as a director, and this process I'm sure is 100% different based on who is doing it, but it starts with figuring out how you want that show to look. What is your image of you taking that black and white typeset in a script and turning that into something that's on the stage? Richmond Hill is a unique stage to work with. It is in the round, so we have 160 seats that are surrounding our stage. So if you think about the stage here at the high school or other stages that are, have the stage in front of you and the audience is on one side, our audiences are all the way around us. So it really changes how you direct a show. So you block that show in your mind, you make notes, and then it can be 1 to 6 months before your show that you have auditions, and you try to figure out what you want people to read during the audition so you can get a sense of their abilities. And really it's a guess, because some shows require accents, others might require different deliveries, and you're trying to find somebody who can do those things, right? You want to try to find the best group you can. We are very, very lucky. We have some incredibly talented people involved in our theater, so rarely do we have trouble finding wonderful people to be on stage. And then you, typically 4 to 6 weeks before a show, you start auditions. Most of our shows not auditions,
yeah.
rehearsals, thank you. We typically rehearse 3 nights a week, and 3 hours-ish for those 3 nights. The schedule will all be laid out on kind of when do you expect people to be off book, which is the dreaded, memorized, and you have to walk out there without your script and try to deliver those lines and remember where you're supposed to be on the stage and who's doing what and when and what are you supposed to be carrying and et cetera. And then as you get closer and closer to the date of the first show, you'll start to add costumes, you'll start to add props, the set will get built. All of it starts to get a little more real as you get closer to the date. And then, again, we're very lucky the Tuesday night before opening night, we have what's called invited dress, and that's kind of your first real performance. We invite the local nursing homes and assisted living facilities to be our invited dress participants. So we usually get some really nice crowds to give you a little idea of when the laughs are going to be and when do you need to stop talking, because it starts to be less funny to you after saying those lines 40 times. And then it leads up to, and from an advertising perspective, you'll start to see the Facebook ads and you'll start to see the posters and all of the things start to come up as you lead up into those opening night. And then we do 8 shows for every performance. We also offer for groups, if they would like to be involved, they can have the theater to themselves. We call it a benefit. And they basically just pay us a flat fee and they can do whatever they want from a ticket perspective. We'll open up the lobby before the show to have snacks or whatever, really. And then we'll put on a performance. So those are typically the Wednesday nights of the week, the 2 weeks that we're performing. And we perform Thursday through Sunday for 2 weeks. So 8 total performances minimum, with the matinees on Sunday afternoon. So it's a long process. When you started getting involved, it goes very quickly. Like it feels like you just started and then it's over and then you're tearing the set down and getting ready for the next show. It's a very kind of bittersweet moment as you've worked that hard to get there. But
Yeah, and Richmond Hill is set up in a really neat way. There's a rehearsal room that is mapped out like the stage upstairs. So as you have all these shows going on at the same time, you can't share the stage because their props and their sets are all up there. So the show that's coming up next gets to work in the rehearsal room, and it's a nice space to be because it is something that you need to be mindful of the space that you have when you're on that stage with where people live with those in the round and with the people in the front row with their legs possibly in your way. So you want to make sure that you have those things kind of blocked out ahead of time. And then when you get up to the stage, it all makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's a neat group, neat venue that we have here in Geneseo, and city's glad to be able to have coordination with your organization on that structure out there that's been there for how many years now?
So it has been a theater since 1968. And they have some of the photos of those early shows with the big barn doors open on the ends, and I can't imagine what the bugs must have been like in there on those July and August performances with some lights and people sitting on risers around the outsides. It has come a long way. We've had several great fundraising efforts over the last 25 or 30 years to close that in. We have wonderful theater seating. We are air conditioned and heated, and we have restrooms indoors now. You used to have to walk outside and go to the milk house, 20 feet away. So if it was raining, you had to kind of go in and out of that. We have an elevator. We did a recent light and sound, recent now, it's been 10 years, light and sound project. So we've got top of the line. So for those of you who may be interested in the tech side of theater, we have some fantastic sound and light equipment to light our shows. We also offer a couple of features. We're very lucky to have the ability to have assisted listening devices for those who may have trouble hearing. So we offer those, no charge at the box office, just ask. And then the first Friday of every performance, we offer audio description. So for anybody who may be visually impaired, they can come in an hour before the doors open, and we do a sensory seminar where we give the ability to touch props. We describe all of the sets. We walk around the sets. And then during the show, they have a headset, and I tend to do the audio description. I will sit down in the rehearsal room, and I will describe the action on the stage while they listen to the actors. So we're really the only community theater outside of the Music Guild that offers audio description on a regular basis as well. So that's the first Friday of every performance. We'd love to have more people participate in that as well. So,
yeah, great. Well, how can people give back if they want to contribute? Obviously, these run on tight budgets and try not to probably gouge in ticket prices too much.
Yeah,
but,
we do try to keep them reasonable so people are able to come. But we do always have an annual giving that you would receive a letter. But there's memorial options too for those that are, they passed away, but they were a part of the theater or they were patrons, and so they're able to do that with their end-of-life giving as well. So lots of opportunities. We always accept donations. So, but you're right. We do run on a tight budget, so it is nice to have those extra gifts come in.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan and Katie, thanks for being here this morning.
Thank
Is there
you.
anything that we didn't get in?
I will speak from the actor's perspective. I really think it's a wonderful space that they have this huge, ginormous costume room that you wouldn't know that's there. So you've got a lot of opportunity to find a fun costume, or many if your role depicts it. But then also beautiful dressing rooms that have a lot of space, and they're separate, but then they've got their own restroom, and so you kind of have a nice room to get ready in. There's a green room also that is where the actors can wait while they're not on stage, and so they've really put in a lot of effort to making it a comfortable space to perform to for people that are willing to act.
Yeah.
How many shows have you done, Katie?
Just two.
Just two.
Yeah, I'm a newcomer here to Richmond Hill. I've done more in my past, but recently got back into it.
So no Oscars yet.
No, there's still time.
Stand by.
That's right.
Well, thank you guys for being here.
Yes, thank
this
you.
morning to talk about Richmond Hill players. Keith, City, what's coming up? Anything else?
No, it's kind of, we have a committee of the whole meeting, I guess, coming up Tuesday night, but I'm trying to think,
Tuesday.
really not too much.
A lot of end-of-year standard practice items, things that are required for us to do. We set the schedule for next year's meetings, tax levy, things of that nature. So coming to the close of project season, so it's that time of year where a lot of the projects out in the public and the roadways are wrapping up, and we'll be tied up until we hit some nice weather next spring.
Yeah, and State Street went pretty much as per plan and was finished up. Next year will be the, excuse me, get choked up thinking about it, will be the final phase and have that project wrapped up. But that's, and for the city, that's a pretty big undertaking taking on a project of that size, but went smoothly this year. And Christmas tree up and lit, looking good. Hats off to staff and everybody involved with that. Would like to thank. We had our Christmas open house last Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Friday night we did do the little fundraiser with the tree carvings from the old tree and what have you. Ended up raising $520 for the
Wow.
Humane Society. So dropped that off with the grandkids the other day. And so thank you to everyone that purchased a little art drawing or piece of the tree. And probably should have taken 2 limbs.
I was gonna
because
say,
probably could have
should've
sold more.
Filled up a truck full of limbs.
Yes, but one of those projects that was fun to do. I think everyone appreciated, but you think, how long can that take to cut a few tree carvings? And it took a little bit longer than one might anticipate, but I think everybody enjoyed them. And again, just a lovely evening and stuff. So all good.
Yeah,
So
we should mention, too, that the city's holiday lighting contest is coming up. Those forms, if you want to enter that contest, this is lighting up the exterior of your home. If you're a Geneseo Municipal Utility customer, those forms need to be in to City Hall by December the 5th. And then we'll be partnering with our friends at Inspire Continuing Care again to do the judging. So we'll go out the evening of December 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. and let them judge the displays. So looking forward to that. Always a good time.
And to put you on the spot a little bit, but the prizes are.
So it's credits to your utility bill. I believe the first prize is a $250 credit, and then it tiers down from there. I think there's 3 or 4 prizes that utility credits.
Yeah. All good.
Yeah.
And of course, next week the school is on break for Thanksgiving. That means we're on break on Friday, so we'll be back in December with our kind of get into our holiday programming mix there.
Holiday programs.
Yeah.
All through December.
There you go. Right. Perfect. Well, I guess with that, unless there's something we missed, I
do want to mention too, because we're getting a lot of questions right now at the city. Leaf disposal, those cleaning up their yards, getting leaves finally starting to drop on a lot of the larger trees. The disposal site, the city disposal site at Prairie Park, the last 2 days that is open for the 2026 year. That's tomorrow, 11/22 from 8 a.m. to noon.
Okay.
And then we will be open in December, on December the 6th from 8 a.m. to noon too. That's where you can bring out either craft bagged leaves, or they don't have to be bagged too. You can bring them and dump out bags, or bring them in a tarp too and dispose of them at the site out there. You do have to be a City of Geneseo refuse customer to do that. And then curbside pickup ends next week. So depending on when your curbside pickup is with Republic for yard waste, those last 2 days are on the 24th and 25th. Next Monday and Tuesday. So some important notes, as I know I'm one of them that's trying to coordinate, when am I going to take a load to the Prairie Park site versus when am I going to put them in the craft bags and put them on the curb, that type of thing.
And it's good to share that because people, you have a lot going on, so you may not have that schedule memorized. I'm still trying to figure out, is it recycling or not, every week. And so if all the neighbors are in, I'm following them right or wrong.
And we have a calendar for that,
No,
Keith. Just put it up on your
know.
refrigerator.
And you can do that or just put it on the phone and what have you. But, baby steps.
Yeah.
Give me another 10 years, I'll figure it out. Yeah. All right. Well, Jonathan, Katie, again, we appreciate you guys stopping in with us this morning. Brandon, always a pleasure. And then we will be back in a couple of weeks with the December whatever program of Let's Talk Geneseo. So for Brandon and myself, Keith Kennett, we appreciate you tuning in and listening. And this is WGRG 100.5 FM in Geneseo. Have a great weekend.